Hey guys, welcome back to the Ottawa Senators rebuild. This is episode 5. We are at the preseason of season 2. We've gone through year 1. We found our coaching staff. We had a decent draft. It wasn't the best, obviously. However, we're going into season 2 with a little bit higher expectations. Still, don't really care if we don't make the playoffs this year. After this season, I want to be a contender every single year, but this next one, I want to make sure that the right guys develop and we give them the appropriate ice time and whatnot. So one more season of mediocrity before we really plow into things. But before we get into that, now you guys have been showing me some serious love on this series, which I super appreciate. It's my first franchise mode run in NHL 21. But someone specifically showed some love to the series that it was not anticipating, and it just happened to be someone in the AHL on our franchise, and that's Igor Sakalov, who actually plays for the Belleville Senators. He actually DM'd me saying to let that Igor Sakalov guy grow, which I thought was hilarious. So super cool of him to do, and I can't believe he's watching. So shout out to him. He is going to be a captain for an AHL team this season, absolutely. All right, let's get into episode 5, guys. All right, guys, so here we are. Like I said, we have just finished the off season. We're all set to go in terms of the roster, and we're just taking a look at how things are kind of set up right now. We've got Brady Tkachuk, Stützle, and Dadonov. Someone in the comments mentioned, why have Dadonov here? Why not let some other players go? The reason being is that I still want to have a decent right winger with Stützle and Tkachuk to help Stützle have a decent season. If I just throw someone like Logan Brown or Batherson, who I want to be on the team a little bit longer, up there, he doesn't fit as well. So I just want to, I want to give him the options here. He had a really good season last year, and we'll see, because we could throw Batherson up here, but he's still a third line scoring forward, and the role does play an impact to how well they do. If you put them too high too early, they will underperform and don't really reach their full potential. So that's the reason why I'm that. I have Formanton, White, and Batherson here. Norris, Brown, and Kurashev from the AHL, who I still think was a pretty good trade for us at 79 overall at 21 years of age. And we've got Iafallo with Chris Tierney and Brown. So we've got a pretty balanced lineup. On defense, Chabot and Hamilton, obviously a dominant first-line defensive pairing. And then Bernard Docker with Eric Brandstrom, and then Victor Mete and Artem Zub. Probably the last season of Zub on the team unless he grows a little bit more, but I'm not really a huge fan of him on the squad right now. Matt Murray and Gustafson in net for us, so we will see how that plays out. Hopefully we can move on from Matt Murray. We did get an offer for him in the offseason, but it was just really just trading second-round picks. All right, in the AHL, here's how things. There is Igor Sakalov. He is going to be our right winger. He grew from a 69 overall, nice, into 73 last year, and I like his potential here, a medium top 9, and he's only 21 years of age, so I think he can actually grow to be useful in the NHL. Shane Pinto here, he is on the cusp as well of making the NHL, and then Abramov, this is definitely his last season of being in the AHL. We have Kapaka, as well as Amadio and Forsbacka Carlson, with Davidson, Akil Thomas, and Nick Paul, and then Kostelic, Bodden, and Shaw on the fourth line. So might mess around a little bit here, but I do want to give Abramov here. We'll see if these guys don't perform, we might move some things around. Maybe switch Akil Thomas here. Obviously, if they're not going to get a +1, that actually might be the play, because Akil has a little bit more room for growth. So then on defense, we've got Hughes and Thompson, Josh Brown, Fortunato, and Howard, and Allsing to round them out. And in net, we've got Decord and Sogard here as our two tendies. Now, the coaching staff, again, we went and hired the coaching that we wanted. Obviously, we didn't get the first one we wanted, but Eli Ritu does fit everyone that we want, that we're growing and hopefully keeping. And then we've got Kvapil, who is the exact same coaching style and the exact same line strategy and like that as Ritu, which is super important, because if they work in the AHL, they will work in the NHL. The scouts as well, I've got to go through and put all the scouting in, so I'm going to do that right now. And again, if you haven't watched that, basically you can go back and watch the prior videos. We're basically going to go through all of the regions and set up our draft and making sure we scout everyone that we want until about January 1st, so that we can do it again and get the most in-depth draft for the coming season. So I'll go ahead and do that now. All right, so I've gone through everyone, and as you can see, the estimated date for all of my scouts is around December 31st. Don't want to go past January 1st, basically, and then on January 1st, we'll go through and do it all again, and that is, again, the most effective way to get your scouting done. So we are pretty much all set to take on the start of the season. The one thing I want to take a look at is just our trading block to make sure, we got to get rid of, they keep wanting to put Kurashev there. But really the only player, see, we still have Sanderson. So yeah, he's just in the CHL. I think if I call him up, that would, do I want to play him in the CHL one more year, or do I want to call him up is the question. Ooh, that's the question. 76 overall at 19. We can play him. I think we're going to leave him one more year because of Zub and Mete. Yeah, I think we're going to leave him one more year. He's still in the OHL. We're going to leave Sanderson down there. He signed his ELC. That's fine. We can re-sign him. He would burn a year. That's fine. He's going to stay in the OHL. I thought he'd grow a little bit more, but that's okay. So we will leave him down there. Next season, he will be in the NHL. I can almost guarantee you that. So the the trading block is all set. We'll take one quick look at the free agent if there's any great free agents that are still out there that we can have. We still have tons of cash. 15 million. Sanheim at 4.7. Huh. Fits all the power play lines. Ooh, or Jewel Levy. Interesting. Jewel Levy. Oh, man. I kind of want to say 2.175 as a 23-year-old. He's medium top 4. I kind of want to sign him. Arturi Lehkonen, the hero in Montreal. He doesn't really fit anywhere. I'm just wondering if there's any guys that we can put in the AHL. We'll take one quick look here if we go like this. So, Senshin is a 24-year-old, 74 overall, so he's really not going to grow that much. Same with Kuffner. Antti Sorella's 24. Man, Uelevi might be half decent. He's going to be an RFA, though, I believe. Yeah, he's going to be an RFA. Nurmi, no. 19-year-old Hervinen, medium top 9. Huh. Interesting. 70 overall at 19 is nice. Nikita Sherback. Altonen. Yeah, none of these guys are really high enough rated. What about... Yeah. That's fine. No, it's okay. Well, we're all set here. The one thing I do want to take a look at is captains and jerseys. So, Shabbat is our captain because of you guys, Kachuk and Norris. And then in the AHL, like I said in the opening, we got to make Sakalov the captain here. He is going to be the leader of this crew, as we will assign captain to him. And we'll unassign from Shaw. Paul has got to get one, and I'm going to give one to Akil Thomas as well. Mario will remove him, and Akil Thomas gets the other one. And I think we're all set now. Okay. All right, guys, so now that is all set, we'll sim through to the regular season as, yeah, we're all good to go here. All right, guys, so here we are. Like I said, if we make the playoffs, not the worst thing, but I'm okay with getting a high draft pick once again. As Shane Wright is in this draft class, and he is going to be an absolute force up front, and we could use some more talented forwards, but here we go. All right, not really surprising here. We went 4-6-1, currently in 7th place in the division. Stutzla leading the way in points with 8 in 11 games. Obviously, want to see a little bit more out of him there. Dadnov's got 7, Shabbat has 7, and Dougie Hamilton, our free agent acquisition. What about in nets? That is what I'm curious about. Murray and Gustafsson had absolutely brutal starts to the year, which is really not all that surprising. So we can go ahead and go forward here. 4-4-1 with Belleville. I really want to make the playoffs with Belleville as Jonathan Davidson leading the way in points here. So if we have another bad month, I'm going to see if we can't make some acquisitions and help out our farm system. Maybe we can get some help now. All right, we're through 2 months here on December 21st. Stutzla is still leading the team with 21 points in 25 games. Currently still in 7th place in the division. We're pretty far out of a playoff spot. Actually, you know what? We're only 4 points out of a wild card. We'll take a look at the rest of the team here. As Brady Tkachuk, he's got 20 points in 25 games on that first line. It might be time. How's Batherson doing? He's not doing bad at all. 8 and 9. It's pretty close. It might be time to try and move him up. What about Josh Norris? He's got 10 points. Colin White's got a little bit more than that. So it's not like he's having a bad year by any stretch of the imagination. Hamilton and Shabbat leading the way there. Okay, so we'll take a look now at the AHL. And 13-8-1, we're in third place in the division. All right, that's more like it with Amadio leading the way with 16 points in 22 games. So that is a little bit better. So now we've got about one more month of this, and then we'll have to redo our scouting. But let's take a look quickly at the draft class. We haven't done that yet. Is Shane Wright the maximum potential? He's already been scouted. He's a medium franchise. I would love to get first overall pick for him. And with how we've started the season, you never know. Boris Sharov with the medium elite, a lot of medium elite. Skylar Timmins from the Pelicans. You've been watching my Hut channel for a couple years now. We we love the Pelicans. We've got Brad Lambert and Loktionov right down there. So a lot of elites at the top of the draft. So Shane Wright obviously leading the way. I would love to get him. So that would be nice. That's the one thing I want to take a look at. It's just some of the trade values that we've gotten some of these guys, because we've got a lot of talent in the AHL now. And look at that, man. We could move a ton, as Brandstrom's now in 83. Hughes is having, let's see his season. 16 points in 22 games, now to a 75. That's not bad at all. A2 Ratti, he's still in the minor league system. He's our first rounder from last year. We've got Colin White, and is there any guys on a one-year deal? So Brandstrom, we're going to have to re-sign. We'll take a look at the contracts just after this. As Josh Norris, we're also going to have to re-sign. Formanton, okay, so some of these guys, we're going to have to make some decisions. As Lassie Thompson, 21, medium, top 4, 73 overall. First rounder from 2019. There's Lysell, another pick that we had, I believe, in the second round of last year's draft. And Bourgault as well, the medium top 6. He actually has a lot of value for someone who's 19 at 59 overall. Interesting. And then in terms of goaltenders, we've got Jesper Wallstedt, who is going to be on our team next year for sure. And then the 4 we've got now, really no one that we want. Sogard has potential to grow into something. Gustafson might grow into be a backup, but the other ones are pretty capped. So we'll take a look at the contracts now and see if we can offer any to some of the guys that are expiring. So Brandstrom is expiring. Let's see what he wants. 5.74. Okay, and he is probably going to grow, what is he right now, 22, medium elite? Yeah, we're definitely going to want to re-sign him, and he wants 5.475. We'll see what we can get him at. 4.65 is what he would accept. Now, we could take him at 3 years and put him to get one more year of RFA, or we could really sign him to a long-term deal at like 8 years, and I kind of think I want to do that. Let's see, 8 years... Let's do 7. 8 years would be quite good, though. 6.775. Let's see what we could get him for. 5.75. That's not bad. So next year might be a little over the top, but 5.75. Because if we go to free agency with him and he's like an 80, even like an 85 and above, he's going to want like $9 million anyways. So we might be able to just give him 5.8 for 8 years and see if he accepts. If he accepts that, I'd be stoked, but we'll see. We also have Josh Norris, who wants a contract extension. We'll see again. We could go a little bit further on him, too. He's only 22. 4 years. Actually, I kind of want to take him to RFA. That would be kind of good for him. 3.1 would get him there. I don't know if I want to sign him to a really long-term deal either. Okay, so we'll try him at 3.2 for 3 years and see if he takes that deal. He does want an extension. Brandstrom does not, so we'll have to see if he accepts that deal. Chris Tierney, also a free agent now going into next year. We're probably going to move on from him. We actually might try and trade him at the deadline. And then Logan Brown. Actually, yeah, we're going to have to wait until after this season to do that one. Or after the midway point to do that one. Let's see, Formanton. Let's see, what's he wants. He's slowly growing into something. So we might be able to get away with like a steal here. If he's an 80 overall, medium top 6 at 22, and he's currently wanting 1.6, we might be able to get a steal here if we sign it for like maybe 1.4 for 5 years. Might have a good depth guy that's in the mid, and that might be a steal. Kurashev also needs an extension, and man, he doesn't want a lot at all. We could do... He wants a... There's no way he wants a two-way deal. Wow. I'm going to try this and see. How's he doing in the AHL? Wow, that's not bad at all. We'll take a look at our goaltenders as well. Is anyone expiring here? Nope. We've got those guys locked up in the system. Wall said we're going to sign. And then we'll take a look here. Quite a few. Vabramov we're going to have to do something with. And again, we'll have to do that later on. Paul will probably just go, maybe, or we might put him in the AHL and be like the captain or something like that. We are going to want to have guys that stay in the AHL for a long time and just kind of, anchor the team. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll sim through December and get to the start of the new year. All right, so Kurashev did resign. Josh Norris resigned. Now does Brandstrom resign? He does. That's huge. Okay, Formanton as well. We've already locked up the contracts we need, so that's huge. All right, guys, so here we are at the new year. 14, 19, and 6. 34 points, 1 point ahead of the last place Panthers. We'll take a look at where we are in terms of the rest of the league. In the AHL, 21, 10, and 3 is now we're starting to cruise, which is awesome. Vitaly Abramov leading the team there. So let's go ahead and take a look at just how the team is doing. Brady Tkachuk now leading in points with Stützle tied there as well. Dadonov right behind him. So obviously, team's not scoring at a huge clip, but again, that's okay. Hamilton having more points than Shabbat is kind of impressive. We've got Batherson here, and then Norris. Norris is kind of having a down year, but again, we have him on the third line. We'll take a look at the goaltenders, and yeah, under 900 save percentage is going to do it. That is probably why we are struggling so much. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the NHL. Samsonov has a lot. It's probably Rask right now having an impressive goaltender season. Take a look at rookies. Turcotte cruising right now in first place of that. He's got 32 points in 43 games. He actually led the AHL in points, I believe. Cole Caulfield right behind him. He did get called up. He was in the AHL last season as well. 27 points. Lucas Raymond. So all of the guys drafted in last year and a little bit before are now cruising. And then you see Willie Sylvester, the guy that we couldn't take second overall. 17 points in 41 games, but 84 overall. That's insane. Oliver Wahlstrom. Okay, and then we'll take a look at who's leading the league in scoring. As Ovechkin, man, he just does not stop in the Sims at all. 58 points, and in goals, he's got an 11-goal lead on Taylor Hall of the Nashville Predators. Jonathan Marchessault right behind him. That's crazy. What about on defense? It's probably going to be Carlson again. 52 points in 49 games, or 39 games. That is nuts. Whereas we are way down here in terms of our leading scorer, Dougie Hamilton at 26. So, again, a little bit of a letdown this season in terms of offense and the team overall, but that's okay. We'll take a look at the draft class now as we're going to have to redo our scouting, but that's normal. So Shane right now, clearly the best one is the medium franchise, but then Eric Greentree from Italy. Wow. Okay. Well, you don't see that every day. Boris Sharov. We've also got Skylar Timmins and Lambert. Those are all elites. And then we'll get some more info as we go down here. But, the top end of this draft is awfully impressive. Any other gems and busts? It looks like all busts right here. Wow, okay. Well, again, that's why we have a scouting staff. So I'll go ahead and I'll redo the scouts for the remainder all the way up until April 1st. And then we'll see if we can't finish out the year. Or head into the trade deadline at least. All right, guys, so I went ahead and did all of the scouting stuff until the end of March, right around April 1st. So we'll get our next bit of scouting done there. Just again, I want to take a quick look at the coaching staff. 64% staff chem. Obviously, they're not having a great year, so that's kind of to be expected. The one other thing I kind of wanted to think, I'm going to switch Batherson and move Dadonov down, and then Formanton has 12 points in 39 games in the second line. I'm going to put Kurashev up here because he's got basically the same, and they fit a little bit better. So that's kind of where that's at. I also want to move... Colin White is a little bit later in his development cycle, so I'm actually okay with leaving him there. And there we go. Actually, another... No, we got to leave Stutz on the first line. All right, so that will take care of that. And we're good to go until about near the trade deadline, and then we'll see if we can't make some moves. But let's go ahead and sim through the rest of January. All right, another tough month. 16, 27, and 7. Now last place in the division. Again, not a bad thing this year. I'm completely okay with getting better odds at Shane Wright. So Dadonov now leading the team, even though he moved down to the second line scoring. Wow, our offense is just absolutely abysmal. Tkachuk at 32 points. Stützle at 32. How many points did he have in his first year? 62. Man, he's on pace to have less points than he did in his rookie year, although a lot better in terms of plus minus, which isn't awful. But yeah, tough to see that. But again, new coaching staff. It's going to take a little bit to gel. I'm okay with it. Again, I'm all right with this season not being very good. It's next year where things really need to pick up. But let's take a look in terms of where we are in the entire league, because we're way down to the bottom for sure. We're second last, and we're awfully close. 6 points up on the Flames, so that would be awesome, again, with best odds that we can get at that pick. And again, guys, obviously, it doesn't look very good early on in the rebuild, because honestly, we probably could have just signed some guys, and this team probably wasn't very far from winning a cup, but I don't want to win just one cup or, be in cap hell after 2 years. I want to win tons of them, and I want our entire farm team and prospects to be groomed correctly and have the most sustained success. When you take a look at the contracts we just signed this offseason, or we've already made extensions for. I mean, Brandstrom being signed, that he's going to turn into something amazing for a while. That's just awesome. So we are going to go ahead and go to about 4 days before the deadline and then get ready for the trade deadline this year. All right, so here we are, February 22nd, 2033-7. Good for last in the division. What about the Flames? They have 50 points. We have 47, so we are now in dead last in the league by actually quite a bit. That's solid. Completely okay with that. Stützle now up to 44 points in 60 games. So he is going to be close to his point plateau and what he got in his rookie year. In the AHL, 31-17-6. Good for second in the division. Vitaly Abramov with 41 points. Let's take a look at some of the rookies, because we had some newer guys here. Abramov's 41 points. For his back at Carlson, we traded for last year's 33. Luke Hughes, our rookie defenseman, now a 76 overall. 33 points in 54 games. So obviously he's going to be a stud, and I have no idea what we're going to do with him, because I said it when we drafted him. We've already got Brandstrom and Shabbat. I mean, that's a dominant defensive core if we keep him, but I don't know yet. Amadio has 31. Kapaka has 30. Davidson, Paul, Sakalov down at 20. 27 points in 54 games, not bad for our captain, Igor Sakalov. Take a look at the goaltenders as well. As Decord, a 903 save percentage. Mads Sogard, 915. So a little bit better. And honestly, I might make the switch very soon to switching these up. Decord really can't grow anymore, and he's probably going to be a career AHLer for us, so something to keep in mind there. But not bad so far for the Belleville Senators. All right, so the one thing we do need to look at going into the trade deadline is our expiring contracts. So Logan Brown is an 82 overall at 23 years of age in an RFA. We need to re-sign him because that's a solid player, and hopefully we can get him pretty cheap. He does want an extension. Chris Tierney, 81 overall, 27 years old, 3.75. We can just get rid of him. He's not really going to grow, and honestly, although he does really fit the fourth line well, maybe we keep him as a fourth line center. Maybe. That actually might not be a bad idea. What is his contract? He doesn't want a lot. That might be an option, because I really putting rookies in the fourth line in this game, they just don't develop at all. Vitaly Abramov, we have to make a decision on him. He's 23. He's right on the cusp, and he's going to want a one-way deal. Oh, no, he doesn't. We're going to see if we can get a two-way contract extension while I'm looking at it here. Nick Paul, same kind of situation. Like, he's a UFA. He fits the first line really well, and the second. Like, he fits it very well, but I just don't know what he wants. I think that's a little much for him. I think we're going to let him go, or maybe look to trade him at the deadline. Kapaka's a 78 overall at 23, but does not want a two-way deal. We might give him an extension, a one-way deal, and then put him down in the minors to keep growing a little bit, because he is 78 overall, so he has a chance to go up into the 80s. So we'll offer him that extension there. Josh Brown, 77 overall, 28 years of age. He isn't bad at all. Does he want a two-way deal? He does want a two-way deal. I think we just sign him and then put him in the AHL. Again, we need to have some good players in the high 70s in the AHL for them to compete year in, year out. Is this Logan Shaw? Yeah, this is Logan Shaw. He fits the fourth line really well in the AHL, 76 overall. I think if he wants a two-way deal, which he does, and we will put him in the AHL for a considerable amount of time, and he'll be a fourth-line winger for us. Again, fourth line in the AHL, we can have decent players there that are just older. Jean-Christophe Bowden, he is 24 years of age and 74 overall. He does want a two-way deal. I'll try and get a third year out of him. And we'll see. Again, he can play in the AHL. That's no problem. Parker Kelly is 22, medium bottom 6, undrafted. I think we're going to let him go because, whoever we draft, and if there is some other guys that we can sign, that's okay. So that takes care of those contracts. I think we are going to re-sign. I think we are going to re-sign Chris Tierney. First of all, I'm a Sharks fan, so obviously I love Chris Tierney, and I like the fact that he fits the fourth line really well. So he says that he would take 2.6 for 3 years. We'll see. We'll see if he wants. He doesn't want an extension, so that wouldn't really surprise me. And then obviously Brown, we do want to re-sign. I wonder how many years we can get out of him. Medium top 6, 3. 3. We'll see if we can get that. 3 is fine. And 1 point. We'll give him see if he'll take 1.8 for 3 years. The one thing I do want to resign or look at is goaltenders, and there's no expiring goaltenders, so we are all set there. All right, guys. So the only ones that, Nick Paul is probably one of the only ones that we want to look at in terms of trading, and we'll see what he looks like in terms of his trade value. Mete at 1.7, I think we're going to keep for a little while. And where is he? Is he way down here? He's got some, so we can definitely get a late pick for him. And Tierney, he doesn't really have any, so he's more valuable if we resign him for cheaper. Other than that, I really don't know. We could try and get rid of Murray and see if anyone will take him, because he's got that 6.75 for 3 years more, and we're going to go with somebody else, whether it be Gustafsson for a year, although next year I want to compete a little bit, so maybe we just sign someone while we wait for Wallstead. So, all right, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below, and thank you again for everyone that has watched this series. I will see you guys next time as we go through the deadline and the rest of year 2. Have a good one, guys.